What's up, guys? So today we're looking at the PMP Revenge. So this is a modern titanium frame lock. Very impressive knife. I did save the package on this so I can show you real quick. All right, it comes with a very cool little velvet bag. It says Revenge on there. Pretty dark. There's the logo, all right, for PMP Knives, which I believe is a German company. All right, so even though I squished mine, it's a very nice little packaging. See the designer for this particular one, and Instagram right there, as well as their website. And Instagram is where it's at, because that is where I saw this company for the first time. So first, let's start off with some specs here. All right, our blade is 3.75 inches long. It is a Bowler M390, which is razor sharp. This happens to be flat ground, Wharncliffe style blade, possibly sheep's foot, depending on who you're talking to. But I would definitely call that enough of a point to be a Wharncliffe. So using the box here for a flat edge, you can see that blade does have a curve in it. All right, as I rotate towards the front, you can see the space in the back and so forth. So it is actually curved as opposed to completely flat. The length overall open here is 8.8 inches and closed it is 5.1 inches. All right, weighs 6.4 ounces, quite hefty. Definitely a chunky knife. Obviously it's all metal. Titanium frame lock here. Lockup is great. There is a lock bar insert. All right, you can see that there. Two screws that secure it in, and the centering is perfect. All right, while we're here, we can look at this backspacer, which is pretty interesting. So we have a pretty much half open frame. Backspacer comes down, sticks out, and tapers. That's what creates our lanyard hole. Okay, so there's a slight cutout on the frame, but then obviously a hole drilled through the actual spacer itself. Now I kind of noticed, I didn't play around with this myself, but this tapers enough where you can use this as a little bit of a pry tool, so to speak. All right, so that's somewhat built into there. I'd be confident in kind of torquing on that quite a bit. I wouldn't worry about that breaking or anything. But yeah, you can see there's a kind of channel that's drilled through here. And if I zoom in on the inside, because you can see there's 3 body screws for that. If I zoom in on that one body screw, all right, on the inside, you can see that they actually left space on the spacer, all right, for that screw, so it can go through. So it's not an exposed screw or anything. So there was some definite forethought there. Now the ergos on this are pretty good. It's a pretty straightforward design. You can see it's almost like a canoe shape when it comes down, but it does have a little bit of a hump here and then back up, which kind of hugs your hand. All right, so it is nice. It is comfortable. Pocket clip totally stays out of the way. All right, so there's no hot spots at all. It is very smooth. You can notice that where your thumb lands on top, it's a little bit on the thin side. Usually not a fan of this, but on this particular knife, it's not that bad in using it, and you know, this grip as well as more of a natural grip. I didn't find any kind of hot spots on the thumb, even pushing down quite a bit. Now this is a flipper model, but it does have a very low profile flipper. A lot of people will like that because it's not going to be sticking out. I know that's a huge complaint by a lot of people. It does work, all right, flips out very nicely. But my issue is that because it's so small and because of the shape, it's almost like I'm just pushing on the corner. All right, so I do get just an uncomfortable feeling at the tip of my finger. It doesn't hurt or anything. It's just definitely noticeable, not the most comfortable of all the flipper designs. But there is also a slot cut in here, so you don't have to use a flipper if you don't want to. Very nice detent on this as well. All right, it's not going to accidentally, you know, fall open or anything. But it's really easy to overcome that detent. Right? Obviously, it's all the way through, so you can do that with left hand as well. I do like the little bit of design here where you have the actual cutout all the way through, but then you have this, you know, little ledge here. It just gives it some character. It's just something that you don't see often, so I like it. It's a very small design detail. This thing is super smooth, like glass smooth. All right. This is running on a ceramic ball bearing system on here. So it's really nice. It is a pleasure to open and close. Lockup again is absolutely perfect. All right. It's just overall a really good knife to use. It's just the things that stood out to me, besides the very low profile flipper, is the pocket clip. The pocket clip, although it's a very cool, sleek design, is definitely on the stiff side. All right, titanium clip. So you can see it barely wants to move. So, you know, and putting it out of the pocket, it is noticeable for me. I have to do this kind of like a cold steel, not all the models, but most of them, where I'm using my fingernail, all right, to kind of lift up a little bit so I can get that material started underneath that clip. But once I do, it's fine. I've totally gotten used to it and carrying it. You know, it's a bigger, chunkier titanium frame lock. The M390 is ridiculous. It is flat ground. I don't know if I mentioned that before. It's a great performing knife, all right? I know there's a ton of people out there that are in the market for, you know, a larger titanium frame lock, all right? As an EDC, this is a fantastic choice. These sell for 200 bucks. It is marked on the back, the only markings on here, all right? PMP Revenge, M390, which is our blade steel, and then a serial number. This one's 224 out of 350. There's a couple different colors on this. Besides this gray, you know, flat titanium, there's also, I think, a blue one. There's an all black one. There's a couple of variants. My assumption, and it's only assumption, is that there's 350 of each version made, all right? So it's nice that it's serialized for the collectors out there, but it's definitely a user knife. If I didn't mention it before, the pivot, let me zoom back in. You can see their logo again on that pivot. Is a presentation side, so you see there's no screw head. That's on the reverse. All right, which is very nice, very clean design. All right, the blade is also stonewash finish. All right, just a very fine stonewash, so it doesn't really show scratches too much. Overall, I like it. I think it's really nice. It's a little bit heftier, again, just over, or I should say just a hair under 6.5 ounces. It's not gonna be for everyone. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. But if you are looking for a robust EDC in the $200 price range, it's definitely worth looking at. German company, something totally different. It's not your, you know, Benchmade or Spyderco that everyone's talking about. It's really awesome to see just all the variety out there. All these new companies are popping up left and right. Gives us a lot of options as knife people. Very good user, very clean, simple design. And like I said, something different. You know, obviously a little bit more limited at 350 pieces, you know, per style. But I definitely like it. I wish the flipper wasn't a little uncomfortable. It's kind of a shame for me. I don't mind it sticking out a little bit more for the exchange of the comfort. But it is low profile, so, you know, like I said, if you're not into flippers because you don't like the way they look, this one's barely there. It's barely poking out. But again, you don't have to actually even use the flipper if you didn't want to. But yeah, if you happen to have a Revenge, write down in the comment section what you think of yours, but I do enjoy it. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.